Hello and welcome to Simply Solo Playthroughs. We're here with our top 5 in February. Five games that were my most played favorite games to play in the month of February. Which one do you think is number 1? Why don't you put it down in the comments before we get going? Did you put it down? Come on, write it down. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's take a look at number 5. Number 5 is Palm Island. I've had this multiple times before. This is, I'm trying to do some new hand-only games that just all fit in your hand. Gloomholden is probably my one I want to do next. But this is a game I very much enjoy. You play over 8 rounds, and you just keep it in your hand. You get to have resources. You get to build temples. Can't make the tool maker. We can't do oh yes, we can do housing, because you can put a card down like this, and we'll pay for housing with this and the logger. We will turn this upside down, and we have 1 victory point right away. Logger goes to the back. Housing is still there. Quarry, temple. There we go. Okay, finally. We'll just take the canoe house. No, we're not going to do anything with the market. We'll take the logger. Quarry. We will pay for 2 fish. Flip this over. This goes to the back. We go to logger here. Quarry, we will go on ahead and do this quarry. And that is the end of our first round. And we flip this card over. When we get to round number 5, we put the card in sideways. That way you can go on ahead and tell. You can keep building and expanding. Again, this is a beat your own score kind of game. I know not everyone's big fans of those, but it's still a fun, good lunchtime game. So let's take a look at number 4. Number 4 should come as no surprise to many people. It's Star Wars, a deck building game. Of recent months, this has become one of my favorite deck builders, sort of. We'll talk about that in a few moments. And this is just a lot of fun. And you can play either the Clone Wars or the original series, depending on what you like. I like both of them. They're both fun. They're both interesting. They do a lot of differing things. So you start off and your Empire goes first. And of course you have your starting bases where you get to play all kinds of fun stuff, including the Death Star, which I find cool just because it's a Death Star. And the turns are typical deck building kind of game. You can go on ahead and purchase items. You can have something to attack your enemies. First thing we're going to do is we'll use the Inquisitor, and we're going to move the Force 1 spot towards us. We will then go on ahead and we're going to actually snipe the Y-Wing. And we're going to attack the Y-Wing with 1 Stormtrooper. And yes, you don't get to have an extra point that goes after it, unfortunately. You only gain that, but we do gain 1 purchasing power. That'll be 3. We have another one. We can go after the leader, and it's well advised to go after the opposing leader, because if you do, they start here and not here. This is the deck that's coming out. This is their holding ready deck for next turn. So you get 1 turn delay before the leader comes out, plus you gain a lot of good stuff. There we go. Okay, so we have 1. We'll use the second one, and we will go ahead and do 2 points against Dantooine. And we have 3 to purchase with, which will be the TIE Interceptor. And that takes care of our turn. This card goes out into our victory pile. These go to the discard pile. And of course, we draw up by 5 cards. We go to the leader's turn. They get this card, plus they have 3 to purchase with. And they will purchase the largest capital ship that they can afford. So rather than purchasing the X-Wing, they will purchase the Rebel transport, because when this card comes out, it will be protection for Dantooine, or whatever ship that happens to be there. This goes over here into this pile for holding. That was, what was that, 2 points? 2 points. They will go on ahead and buy a Y-Wing for 1. Now, the disadvantage is if they did not have something to buy, this track goes up. When the track comes to here, the leader comes out. And the leader plays every other turn. So it can get really harsh really fast. They then have 2 points to go on ahead and to attack. They do not have anything that they can attack, so they will go on ahead and go after Lethal. And that's the end of the turn. These go into the discard for next time. The one interesting thing is when these cards come out and they're used, and then they are discarded after they are used. So this will go here to protect, and this will just be a 2 to attack with. When it's done attacking, it goes in out of play. So that is Star Wars, the deck building game number 4 on the list for the month of February. And allow me to say, as much as I complain about Fantasy Flight board game boxes, aka Imperial Assault in specifically, this is a fantastic box. And the leader rules are set so you can go on ahead and put everything into the box, close the box, and everything is good. And it's large enough to hold your game within card sleeves inside the box without doing anything extra. So, good job, Fantasy Flight. Let's take a look at number 3. Number 3 is Casinopolis. For those of you who watched, I did a preview of this, and I really like this game. It is my favorite of the Opolis series. I do have most of them, and I have a lot of the expansions. I think I have all the expansions for all the Opolis games. My favorite one prior to Casinopolis was Natureopolis, and that was just because I like the theme so much. Outdoors, camping, nice things going on. Sprawlopolis is, of course, the original, and you're trying to build a city and make the city all work together. All the cards on the back have something that you have to accomplish. And as we see with Casinopolis, they are all casino kinds of games. You're trying to build. I have Fruit Loops, which is one of my favorite ones, which you're just trying to make a round thing. You always have 3 cards within your hand, and you can turn these cards any way that you want, but you cannot do that. So you can go ahead and move these all around. Oh, I had 2 left. I like that. And place them where you need to do. Draw another card. And so you always have 3 cards in your hand when you're playing solo. The fun part about this is if you play together, is you'll keep 1 card in your hand and you'll pass. And once you discard, you'll then pass the 2 to the next person. And they'll go on ahead with the 1 card in their hand, play, draw a new card, hand it on, and move on. So it's kind of an interesting theme that we keep going with, but I like Casinopolis because it adds a whole new level to Sprawlopolis and Natureopolis, because you have the different kinds of things within it that you can collect, whether they're a luck symbol or fruit. And it makes a difference as to what's where and who's where and everything else. So, let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 is my newest, favoriteest button shy game, and that is Dionysia. Might still be up on Kickstarter. You have to go take a look. Maybe you can late pledge or something. But this is a great game. This is by far my favorite button shy game, bar none. I like how you have to interlock everything, and how everything has to work together, and you really can't have too many weak parts. If any of you have tried creative writing or trying to put together, particularly plays are exceptionally difficult to do. You need to have everything just kind of locked together. One scene carries over from the next. So you have 3 acts, 1, 2, 3 acts. You have 3 scenes in each act. You are trying to match this kind of a pattern. That is how you gain points. And you are going up against, in the solo version, Thespius. And Thespius just kind of draws and puts cards into their play, and he comes out with a fantastic play. We see how we did at the end. It's a beat your own score kind of a game, so that does not always go well for some people. So what happens is you'll take a card, which I just did, and play that card. You'll then replace the card, and Dionysia, Thespius will take the next card. So they'll take this, put it in, drop it down, and he'll overwrite the act and upstage the act, and we have a new key scene. Now the problem becomes is if you need to pull out one of these. These do have, view top 2 cards on the deck, return 1 to the top and 1 to the bottom. In this case, we just have 2, so it's not going to make much of a difference. I didn't follow what they were doing. And we'll go ahead and place this one here. So we can hopefully get a dagger to put into this particular one. And then we, of course, replace. Thespius then takes this. Now this, because it's an instant action, Thespius does not do the instant action. You, however, get to draw a Thespius card. So these are all different kinds of things. Hasty revisions, swap location of 2 cards. You can have a new key scene with new actions. All kinds of things that can happen within the play. And let's see, dramatic. Next round, the stage is filled with only 2 scene cards. That doesn't really make a difference for this one because we're at the very end. Or place this card near one of your unfinished acts. You may not play this card until the other acts are finished. Oh, wow, that's actually tough. Yes, that was chosen correctly. So we then have to finish Act 1 before we can finish off Act 3. And there are 6 cards. I've never gone through all 6 cards in one game. But that's part of the soliloquy expansion for solo. That is really, really good. I enjoy this game so much. I played this game a lot. You can take a look. Like I said, I did a Kickstarter preview for it. So go ahead and take a look at it. So what do you think number 1 is? Any guesses? And number 1, coming off the shelf of shame, is Marvel Champions, my new favorite deck builder. I got this for Christmas. I just didn't get around to playing it until the weekend they announced that, yeah, they're doing their thing. This is a great game. I am not a big comic book fan, not a big super. I don't watch all the Marvel Universe movies, but I really like this game a lot. It's pretty straightforward. One of the interesting things is, of course, you have a weakness that goes into the bad guy's pile. So if you draw this out, you have to deal with this card, which is give to Peter Parker player. You may flip to alter ego form. Choose one. Exhaust Peter Parker. Remove eviction notice from the game, which is usually your best bet. Discard 1 card at random from your hand. This card gains surge. Discard this obligation. I don't like the surge because surge means you pull out another one of these cards. So we start as Peter Parker. We are going to generate a resource before we flip over. We draw out 6 cards. We have my favorite card, which is Black Cat. This is probably my favorite card to use, and we'll generate a resource, a science resource, and we will play Black Cat and use for justice, and we'll discard that to pay the cost. So we now have Black Cat in play. Black Cat can do all kinds of fun things. We will go on ahead and hold on to those two, and we're just actually going to discard that one. We're going to hang on to those 3 cards. Peter Parker has done his thing. He has not recovered any damage, so we'll go ahead and flip him over to Spider-Man. Spider-Man has an interrupt that when a villain initiates an attack against you, draw 1 card, which is always kind of nice. And we will go on ahead and we're going to attack with Spider-Man, and we will attack for 2 points. And Rhino goes down to 11. He has been exhausted. Black Cat will also... Black Cat, the reason I like Black Cat so much is because when you do one of these actions, there's that little star beneath it. So if she thwarts his action, she will take an incidental damage. She will take 2 of those, but there's not 1 underneath attack, so she can attack for 1. And she will attack for 1, get him down to 10. And we will draw up to 5 cards, because Spider-Man gets 5 cards versus the 6 for Peter Parker. Upright these cards, and the villain then goes, and the villain will then, we draw out 2 cards. 1 card is your bonus card that is going to do extra damage, which in this case is going to be 2, but we have to identify who's going to take this damage first. And of course, Spider-Man is going to take the damage, so he will be attacked. He will play back. We'll then reveal this. We then gain a backflip, which is defense, that when you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent all of that damage. So Spider-Man does not get damaged. He also has an interrupt for his basic power, which when he's attacked, he gets to draw a card. Daredevil, oh, that's cool. That's some expensive cards. And we also could have done a hero. We also could have done an interrupt and avoided him taking the thwart, which we probably would have done in reality if I was playing a full game. I hope you've enjoyed this. Our top 5 games are Palm Island, Star Trek the Deck Building Game. Number 3 was Casinopolis, or the Opolis series in many ways. Dionysia, which is currently on Kickstarter, and Marvel Champions. 3 games I have not played before the month of February. Think about that one. That's amazing. So, make sure you like and subscribe. Come back later and have a fantastic day, and I will see you later. Please like and subscribe.